It finally happened, guys. Battery Day finally happened. In my opinion, the event was pretty good. I do have to say that there were a lot of things that I did not know, a lot of engineering improvement that was very interesting to learn about. So today I will talk about what they presented, how that might affect the stock performance in the long term, and what my opinion is about all this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do so, please smash the like button and subscribe since it really helps the channel out. Also remember that I have a complete free Discord group chat, and the link for that is down in the description below. So what did Tesla present on Battery Day? To start, they talked about a full self-driving service. Apparently within a month or so, we are going to see a beta version of full self-driving that will be able to take you from a place A to place B without needing you to drive. Meaning that the car will see stop signs, lights, intersection, cars, everything to get you from place A to place B as if it were you the person driving the car. We do have to accept that the progress Tesla's autopilot have had over the past years has been impressive, and it is what gives Tesla the competitive advantage along with their battery technology. According to Elon Musk, they are now labeling 3D videos instead of 2D images. Also, they are now taking the 8 cameras the car has simultaneously and labeling that so the car could have a way better and much improved view. Then they announced some major improvements to the battery. First, they announced that they will manufacture their own tabless battery, which will help them improve their vehicle's range and power even more. The new cell promised to be lighter, 5 times more energy storage capacity, and 14% cheaper cost per kilowatt hour to produce. The cells are also promised to be 6 times more powerful when it comes to power capacity. The benefit for car buyers will be greater range, 16% by Tesla's estimates, and lower vehicle price. The most important thing, financially speaking, is that this will reduce their cost, and 2 things could happen with this reduction of cost. The first one, Tesla could easily lower even more the price of their vehicles and make it even more competitive with gas vehicles. The second thing that will happen with this improvement is that Tesla will have a higher profit margin per vehicle. Another innovation for the battery is that Teslas will make their EV battery cathodes without cobalt. Before explaining how this will help the company, I want to explain why this is such a huge deal nowadays. Apparently, cobalt is mined under conditions that violate human rights in Congo in Africa, since there are thousands of miners digging it by hand, including children. As of 2012, UNICEF estimated 40,000 boys and girls were working on that. Long story short, cobalt is used by a lot of companies to produce their batteries, and in December there was a lawsuit against Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Google, and Dell, since they make their products with cobalt mined by children. So Tesla saying that they will not use cobalt anymore for their batteries is actually very good for the company. Not only that, it will also make batteries cheaper. Talking about cheaper, they also announced the idea of a new fully autonomous model that will have a purchase price of $25,000 in about 3 years. First of all, why 3 years? Well, they just announced all these new upgrades that they will do to their batteries in order to reduce their cost, and also just announced the beta self-driving feature. According to Elon Musk, it will take about 12 to 18 months to start seeing these changes and about 3 years to finally have everything improved. They still do not have the technology to be able to build such a cheap car, but that is the goal with all these new updates to the battery. I do think we all know that this is going to be a game changer for Tesla. They are creating a more affordable car for the masses. More and more people will be able to buy this car. In my opinion, this is what's going to help Tesla boost massively their company and scale it to huge levels that will help them continue dominating the market for years. We all saw how the Model 3 was a tipping point, the game changer for Tesla at the moment, and it was mainly because of the price. They went from the Model X and Model S, which were really expensive cars, to the Model 3, which competes with a Mercedes C-Class or the BMW 2 or 4. But now with a $25,000 car, Tesla will compete with the Honda Accord, Honda Civic, Toyota Camry, and more. The difference between these new models and these gas cars is that this is an autonomous electric vehicle with huge technology and upgraded battery. So it's not only a cheaper car, it is also an electric car that will lower people's expenses on a monthly basis. This car is expected to have a mile range of about 250 and 300 miles, which is actually pretty nice for that price point. Now, take into consideration that in 3 years, a lot of things can happen. Toyota, Honda, or any of these car companies could develop their EV car at that price range. Still, we all know that obviously Tesla is the only company right now with a huge technology. As I said, this is going to be a game changer for Tesla when it comes out. It will help them boost their revenue since, as Elon Musk said, it is absolutely critical that we make cars that people can actually afford. Affordability is key to how we scale. Now, they also show their new Model S Plaid, which costs almost $140,000. This is the fastest car available nowadays since it gets from 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds. It is better than Lucid Air and the Porsche Taycan, and it is also cheaper than them. It also has a new range of 520 plus miles and has a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Obviously, this is more of a high-end car, but it is impressive how they improved the 0 to 60 and the new mile range of more than 520 miles, which makes me think that in the future, maybe when they improve the battery, we will see this new range in the other models as well. They also announced a phase 2 expansion for the Shanghai Gigafactory. We were expecting this Gigafactory to produce 500,000 vehicles per year, as I mentioned in their quarterly analysis video. But now they will produce twice that in the same factory. So we were expecting each Gigafactory to produce 500,000 vehicles per factory, and there are going to be 5 factories, so a total of 2 million vehicles. Now, with this expansion, it will be 2.5 million vehicles of production. This is huge mainly because imagine if they do this kind of expansion to other gigafactories and all of them are able to double their production. That is a huge potential right there for the company's growth. Now, they also mentioned some things such as like they have more than 600,000 pre-orders for the Cybertruck and that they were expecting to see delivery growth of 30 to 40% for this year, even with the pandemic. Obviously, it is not the 50% growth that they had in 2019, but still 40% is still an excellent growth for the company. Now, what do I think about all this and how it could affect the stock? Obviously, I think that they presented unbelievable things 2 days ago that will help them scale and boost their business hugely in the coming years. I know that they didn't mention anything about the million-mile battery, about the Tesla Roadster, nor the Cybertruck production. Also, they didn't mention anything about the ride-hailing business. And I know all of these were huge expectations for people, which is why I think this is one of the reasons of why the stock is dropping. Obviously, there are several reasons why the stock is dropping. We have seen a correction in the whole stock market. They didn't mention anything about that I just mentioned, and that is what happened when people expect huge things and they don't present that. People feel disappointed when all these huge expected things didn't happen, and now the stock is getting crushed. Also, we have to take into consideration that the stock has been hyped for so long, mainly because of the split and the battery day, and all that is already over. So obviously, we were going to see a type of correction. Now, something very important I read about this in an article is that the stock might be dropping as well because of Wall Street. According to the article, Wall Street has a short-term focus on the stock. They do not care what is going to happen in 5 years. They care what is going to happen in the company this quarter or next quarter, mainly because they try to preserve their short-term gains. Fund managers and traders might be focusing on their quarter and annual performance, and a poor performance is not an option for them. Take into consideration that hedge funds need to show profits now, and Tesla talking about long-term improvements and long-term huge plans is not something they like. If they would have dropped a $25,000 car right now this year or next year, the stock would have gotten crazy because hedge funds see that the revenue of the company could be boosted really hard because of that in the short term. Also, something I've seen, and I'm sure most of you have also seen, is that some Tesla investors are really impatient. If you are investing in this company, you need to understand that they are innovating every single year and exponentially growing, but also have to know that they have way more potential in the long term, let's say 5, 10, or even 15 years from now. In my opinion, this event demonstrates that Tesla is and will be the leader with their autonomous and battery technology. It is going to be difficult, but not impossible, to any of the other companies to get where Tesla is right now with their technology, which gives Tesla huge potential over the long term. I do have to say that what they presented made the company even more attractive for me to invest in, but I think that the run up because of the split and the battery day needs a correction, which is in the process of getting it. I also have to say that if I were you and I am the Tesla investor, I would not sell the stock Never. I would most likely hold it for the long term since the company still has more room to grow, and that is what they demonstrated in the event. Obviously, there's always a possibility that the stock might stay flat for a year, 2, or maybe 3 until we see the new model and everything they mentioned in the event, but I do see potential in the stock for the long term. Still, remember to always do your due diligence before investing and do not invest based on what other people say. I'm not a financial advisor. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please smash the like button and subscribe since it really helps the channel out. Thank you and see you next time.